and to provide them with tools and know-how on how to influence the society. In addition to this, we take a stand on issues, participate in social discussion, and offer young people the opportunity to make impact in Finland and internationally. The organization is bold, inspiring, and open in all its activities. So our values are equity, unity, and courageous. We have 3 strategic goals for between this year 2022 to 2023. So for our first goal, we aim to become an educational youth association. We offer training and educational opportunities to our board members, member association, as well as to young people. For our second goal, we aim to be an association whereby young people are well and our activities are sustainable, both socially and otherwise. Our board member activities supports young people to become active member of the society. For our third goal, we hope for young people in Finland to grow to become UN experts, internationalists, and active citizens. So by this, I mean that young people will have the ability to work in multicultural environments. So now I'm going to be talking about the current state of SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals. So in 2015, the UN member states adopted its 2030 agenda goals, whose aim is to eradicate poverty and promote well-being in an environmentally sustainable manner. So from this picture, you can see that the SDGs consist of 17 different goals, and they are all to be met by the year 2030. So Finland is one of the front runners in the implementation of this 2030 agenda. So a government report is being made like once in 4 years about the progress of the Sustainable Development Goals, and also a report is being sent to the United Nations. So Finland supports the implementation of these goals both home and internationally. One major issue of implementing Sustainable Development Goals is how practical solutions can be found and how they can be funded. So the most practical actions that are committed to develop is to develop taxation, to fight corruption, and also to combat illicit financial flows. So continuing with the current state of the SDGs, Finland uses 8 objective and 10 monitoring baskets to carry out the 2030 agenda. So the monitoring baskets and the objective are shown in the figure below. As you can see, from the objective, you can see that there is equal perspective for well-being, participatory society for citizens, sustainable employment, sustainable society, and local communities, as well as having a carbon neutral society, a resource-wise economy, lifestyle respectful of current capacity of nature, as well as decision-making respectful of nature. So this objective and monetary basket are working together to make sure that the 17 Sustainable Development Goals are being implemented in Finland. Okay, so Finland has performed well, both internationally and locally, but nevertheless, there are still some distance to cover to achieve these goals. For example, we can see from this figure that shows the gender wage gap by Nordic country. We compared five countries, and as you can see, Finland has the largest percentage of inequalities between men and women. So even though women are increasingly taking position of power, there's still like far from parity, and there's still a lot to be done to make them equal as their main male counterparts. So for this second figure, it shows the total aggregate of greenhouse gas emission of developed and developing countries. So from here, you can see that the global green gas emission of developed countries and economic transition has been declined by 6.5% over the years. But on the other hand, there have been like an increase in the developing countries from the year 2000 to 2013. And this is mainly because of increased industrialization and enhanced economic output measured in terms of GDP. So youth are a driving force for development, but only if we are provided with the skills and opportunities needed to reach our full potential and contribute to global peace and security. So from this figure, you can see that there's five major challenges that is facing youth from achieving the SDGs. The first one is poverty. So in high income economies such as in Finland, youth prospect has declined, and it has caused great concern for the future of their financial security. Gender inequality. There is an inadequate financial access and financial capabilities for young women and girls compared to their male counterparts. The third one is unemployment. So two barriers to youth employment are lack of relevant skills and also lack of access to appropriate financial services for entrepreneurs. Climate change. So climate change has been a big threat to human existence, and it's still a big threat to human existence, and also for the youth especially. And then for the peaceful and inclusive society, there is currently a mistrust in politics, and there's also among the youth, and there's also lack of understanding on how political decisions are being made. Okay, so we might ask, how can the youth be involved in the fulfillment of the Sustainable Development Goals? So the youth can be involved by taking stands in political decisions and being part of the decision. So they need to know how decisions are made, and they need to be actively involved in politics. Also raising voices. They need to make their voices heard because we have two kinds of youth, the silent ones and the bold ones. But if both of them make open up to make their voices heard, then it will be good for the entire society. Also, by being involved in diverse communities and by embracing diversity, and also taking action, both formal and social education. So in Finland, we have already achieved the formal education. Social education is still an ongoing process. And also the youth needs to be involved in NGOs that foster peace and sustainable development. Okay, so now I'm going to be talking about peace and sustainable development. So there is a need to promote peaceful and inclusive society for sustainable development. Conflict, insecurities, and weak institutions and limited access to justice are key factors that threaten peace and sustainable development. We also have to respect and uphold human rights. So human rights may be defined as those rights that are inherent in our nature and without which we cannot exist as humans. Human rights ranges from the most fundamental rights, such as the right to life, to those that make life worth living. such as life, the right to food, to education, to work, to health, and to liberty. Human rights attributes are shown in the figure above. So the first one is universality, which means that human rights belong to everyone, everywhere. It belongs to you and I. Inalienability means that no one can take our rights away. Indivisibility. All human rights have equal status and they cannot be separated from one another. Also, the protection of one right cannot harm another one. Non-discrimination. It prohibits all forms of discrimination. Equality. Every individual has an opportunity to make the most of their life and also their talent. So research indicates that the increased accountability, greater participation and inclusion, and also increased transparency have positive effects in peace, social protection, and also equal opportunities. When policymakers invest in accountability, participation, and transparency, their intervention on social protection, poverty reduction, and also reducing inequalities are more effective. So there are five pillars in which youth can participate in peace process. So the first is protection of human rights, which I mentioned in the previous slide. The next is preventing and mitigating conflict. The third one is actively participating in the society. And then the fourth one is partnership at both local and regional level, and also non-governmental, as in the NGOs. Now to conclude, so the UN Youth of Finland, we are committed to the fulfillment of the Sustainable Development Goals. And I'm going to read our commitments to all of you. So ensuring youth rights is crucially important because it is clear that all youths deserve to have equal rights and access to these rights. It is important to understand that not addressing these issues will have a long-term effect in all aspects of the society. If young people can have access to their full human rights, they can play an important role, for example, in peace processes, tackling the climate crisis, and also the realization of everyone's human rights. This is why the UN Youth of Finland wants to use this opportunity to ask Finland to promote the youth during its term in the UN Human Rights Council. By doing this, Finland will significantly contribute to the future where all youths from around the globe enjoy full access to their human rights and use their full potential to build a more peaceful and sustainable future for everyone, together with today's decision makers. Thank you.